Hi, welcome to Eric's Movie Corner. I'm Eric, and today I'm going to be giving you a list of the top 10 possession movies. I posted a reaction to The Exorcist last month, and y'all seem to enjoy it quite a bit, so I figured it might be up for a list of the top 10 possession movies. Now, before I get into this, I decided that right off the top, we're just going to concede that The Exorcist is the best possession movie of all time. I don't think anybody can really fight me on that. If you want to, go ahead in the comments below. However, when you're doing a top 10 list, I think it's kind of anticlimactic if you already know what number one is going to be. And The Exorcist is number one. It just is. So, we're going to set The Exorcist aside and give you 10 more possession movies that I would recommend. So, here we go. Number 10, we've got The Cleansing Hour. This is a movie I saw on the Shudder streaming service. It's about a fake reverend who has a YouTube show where he does exorcisms, fake ones, to get followers online. And he has gotten quite the following and is not what you would call an upright citizen. However, one day something happens that he's not expecting during one of his shows, and things go from there. So check out The Cleansing Hour. It's on Shudder. I don't know if it's anywhere else at this point. You might be able to rent it digitally at this point. Number 2 is Rec 2. Now this is REC as in record, and the 2 looks like squared. Look at the poster art I just put up. And this is a Spanish language movie. Is a sequel to the original Rec, and it picks up right where the last one left off, and goes on exploring the situation in this apartment building and what is going on and why everybody is acting so awful. So yeah, I would recommend this one. Subtitles, so you've been warned. Number 8 is going to be The Possession. This stars Jeffrey Dean Morgan and is actually based on the Jewish religion, which is a little different. A lot of exorcist movies or possession movies rather, are based on the Catholic faith. This one is based on Jewish Dybbuk box. It's a little different than the rest, so I would recommend checking this out. It's a good one. Number 7 is The Taking of Deborah Logan. This is unique in that it is presented as a student film, a documentary about this woman, Deborah Logan, who is suffering from Alzheimer's, and her mental state is declining. However, as the movie goes on, it starts to look like maybe that's not all that's going on here. Maybe there's something else going on in addition to her mental decline. So this one's a little different than the rest. I would recommend checking it out, Taking of Deborah Logan. Number 6, The Last Exorcism. This is about a reverend who has basically lost his faith because of something that happened in his life, and he goes around performing fake exorcisms to try and debunk the whole thing, because if there is no God, then there can be no demons and there can be no possession, and that's what he's out to prove since he's lost his faith. This is set up as a documentary in which he is going to expose himself. Wait, that didn't sound good. A documentary in which he is going to out himself. No, take 3. A documentary in which he is going to admit that all of his exorcisms have been faked. So that's how the movie starts, and it goes from there. The Last Exorcism. Number 5 on this list is going to be The Conjuring. This is a fictionalized version of a real-life case of paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now, the real-life figures of Ed and Lorraine Warren are rather controversial. A lot of people believe that they were complete frauds, and they should not be given any credit or notoriety whatsoever because of that. I don't have an opinion on the matter myself. I think the Conjuring movies, based around their cases are very entertaining. They are fictionalized, so it's not a documentary. So be entertained. The Conjuring comes in at number 5. Number 4 is The Medium. I also saw this on Shudder. This is a Thai language movie. I really enjoy Asian horror films because they have a sensibility to them that's different than U.S. films. There's Hollywood films are very formulaic. When you get one of these movies, you know exactly what beats are going to happen when. At least if you've seen as many movies that I have, you know when that's going to happen. But Asian movies have a different sensibility. They don't follow the same formula. So often I find myself more affected by them because I don't necessarily know what's coming next. The Medium is about a woman who was meant to be a shaman, and in the religion as it's presented here, being a shaman is a great honor. However, if you're a shaman, that's your life. You're a shaman, and that's all you get to do. And it's about one particular woman that didn't really want that to be her life, and declined the honor. Her family wasn't cool with that, so they try and force her to take on the duties, and the method in which they do so, maybe not the best. This one's really worth checking out. The end of this movie goes absolutely bonkers. It is a long run time, but stick with it because I guarantee it's worth your while. Number 3 on the list is Evil Dead. The original Sam Raimi back in the early 80s. This is a very low budget movie starring Bruce Campbell. And while the budget does work against it at some points, I still think it's pretty scary as far as the possession movie goes. It is a little ridiculous at times. However, it's got heart, and I would recommend checking it out. If you haven't seen Evil Dead by now, you really should. Number 2 on the list is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. This movie is theoretically based on a real-life case where somebody that performed an exorcism was actually taken to court, and they were trying to decide whether he was culpable for the death of the person he was trying to perform an exorcism on, rather than taking them to a doctor and getting medical treatment. So this is half legal thriller, but it's very compelling. Laura Linney is in this movie. She's fantastic. Jennifer Carpenter plays the possessed girl in this movie. You may recognize her from Dexter. She played Dexter's sister in that show. And she also is double jointed and did all the contortions in this movie herself. So if you check this one out, keep that in mind while you're watching it, because it's kind of freaky. So yes, The Exorcism of Emily Rose comes in at number 2. And what's going to be number 1 if we're putting The Exorcist aside? Well, it's Hereditary. Now, some of you may want to fight me on this. And it's not a possession movie. To that I say, if you don't think it's a possession movie, then you weren't paying close enough attention to the movie. So, Hereditary, Toni Collette, I think she should have been nominated for an Oscar for her performance in this movie. She got snubbed. I was mad about it. But everybody in this movie is great, and it is one of the more disturbing things I saw that year. One of my favorite movies, personally. So, Hereditary comes in at number 1 on my list. So, just to recap here from 10 to 1, we've got The Cleansing Hour at number 10. At number 9, we have Rec 2. At number 8, we have The Possession. At number 7, we have The Taking of Deborah Logan. At number 6, we have The Last Exorcism. At number 5, we have The Conjuring. At number 4, we have The Medium. Number 3, Evil Dead. Number 2, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. And number 1, Hereditary. So, hopefully, you've not seen some of these movies and can go check them out now and add to your repertoire of possession movies. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, give me a like below. And if there's something I didn't put in this list that you think should be here, leave me a comment. Let me know what it is. I'm always looking for new stuff to watch. Thanks for tuning in to Eric's Movie Corner. I'll see you next time.